let's go.
So this is the shark's horizontal septum, right there. And then the muscles above it are the epaxial muscles, and the muscles below it are the hypaxial muscles, all of this. And each one of these zigzag things, like that, all of these are, each individual one is a myomere. So now we're going to move on to the cranial muscles. But before, this hard thing that you feel right here, right above the gill, that's your scapulocoracoid cartilage. And from the scapulocoracoid cartilage up to the hyomandibular arch, so like about right there, there is a little band of muscles that we have successfully cut through. And they are known as the cuticularis muscles.
The cuticularis, okay.
Yeah. And then above all of this, these are your ventral constrictors of the branchial arch. Dorsal constrictors of the branchial arches, and these are your ventral constrictors of the branchial arches right here. All these, the 2, 3, or the 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this one is special because it's the hyoid arch. So the tendon is what marks the hyoid arch. Whenever you see a tendon, it means you have the hyoid arch. So below that tendon is going to be a hyoid ventral constrictor, and above it is going to be a hyoid dorsal constrictor, and then the one right next to it is the levator hyomandibula, and then the one that runs from, like, it's on the left of the spiracle, and it runs from right there, from the front of the spiracle down to the eyeball, past the eyeball to the mandible. That's your, or the palato-quadrant, which is your upper part of your mandible. That is the levator palato-quadrati. And then this muscle right here underneath the spiracles, you can't really see it all that well because ours sucks, but this is the spiraculus muscle or something, and then this big chunk right here is the adductor mandibulae. Stop laughing. Actually, this is the adductor mandibulae. Alright, this is shit is learning out. Okay. So this whole thing is the intermandibular because it connects to the mandible, and then when you lift it up,
because inter means between something.
Right. And so when you lift this up, we have, as you can see here, you've got 2 layers of muscles. The yellow one is the intermandibular muscle, and the one above it, the one that's medial to the body, is the interhyoid muscle. And then, but as collectively, when the shark is normal, you see the intermandibular.
Okay. This is going to be one heck of a video.
Alright. So, these things are the cora arcules right there, okay?
Okay.
And the muscles that run deep from the cora arcules to the mandible, these muscles are known, like these ones right here, are known as the coracomandibular muscles because they go from the coracoid to the mandible. Then the ones underneath them, these bands of muscles right there, these go to the second arch. And here, let's see if we can see it clear. Yeah, these go to the second arch. So this little kidney looking thing is the coracohyoid muscle.
Okay. Alright, what about this one? Wait.
Which one?
Oh. Okay.
You can grab my hand and show
me. So, this one right there. What is that?
Muscle?
Yeah.
That's also the, wait. Yeah,
that one
is
let me see the print.
It's also the inner coracoid, or the coracohyoid muscle, because it runs from the coracoids right there, and it goes in.
Okay. Here's your probe back.
Yeah. So pretty much what you have to, this whole thing right here, is this what you were pointing to? This thing?
Yeah.
This is the coracomandibular muscle, because these two things are our coracoids, and these run, anything that runs from our coracoids up to our mandible is going to be a coracomandibular muscle.
Okay.
But underneath it, these muscles, these go to the second arch because they're deeper.
Okay.
And so these are going to be your coracohyoid muscles. Okay. So I think we're done on this end.
Okay.
And this whole thing right there, from branchial to branchial, is a branchial pouch. So we opened up the last one, and you see these seashell-like structures. Here, let me hold it up. So you see these structures like that. And these little veiny type purple things they are called the rays, and in between them, these yellow muscles that run through are the interbranchial muscles. And the one at the very bottom, it's really hard to see here, it's like the circular muscle. Hang on. It's like that, it's that thing right there. Kind of looks like a C. That's the adductor branchial muscle. And then we've got...
What are the red things?
The red things are called the lamellas. And then we have one last part of the shark that we need to know, which is when you cut from the cucallaries and the mandibular, the levator mandibular, when you cut right through them and you separate it from the epibranchial muscles, which are right here, when you separate those two, you open up a cavity, which is known as the anterior sinus cavity, and in it, there's a ton of nerves. And when you lift up the epibranchial muscles, you'll see these dorsal, ribbon-like headband structures that run this way. They run horizontally, and they're towards the top, so they're your dorsal interarcual muscles, and the ones that run laterally, like this, are your ventral interarcual muscles, like that.
That you just tore.
Yeah. So, obviously we're not going to have our shark, but hopefully we'll be able to recognize this shit on something else.
Okay, so that sums up the shark.
Shark part.